Welcome to the No Horsing Around 2023 draft party. Guys, we're going to get in here and get started in a little bit. Roger Goodell's getting ready to come out and kick it off, and we just thought it'd be really fun to invite each and every one of you guys in here, hear your comments, hear your thoughts in live, and we already got AO in here. Quentin was in here earlier. AO, let's get your prediction, man. Who you think's going to be, who's going to be here at number 4? Who would you like, and who do you think they will take? Hit us up in the comments. We're just going to take our time, have a nice chilled live stream, go by pick, and we'll I think Steven and I agree to go 10 picks, right? Like for sure 10, and we might go longer. We'll just see how the draft goes, play it by ear. But we'll definitely be here to celebrate who's going to be picked at number 4, and it better be a quarterback, and it better be a Colts pick. That's all I can say.
Oh, can you imagine if they don't? Like, I'm not allowed my. Like we're searching for everything at this point, right? So you got people finding that Jim Irsay liked a tweet of a fan with Will Levis yesterday. I told you got another guy pointing out that Anthony Richardson has got Colts blue on the inside of his suit, right? So everyone's hunting for everything. Me and you have been texting back and forth all day. You even mentioned that they've taken all the lines down now because nobody has any clue. Like, the weird thing with this draft is that for the first time, like most of the time it's like pick like 10 and beyond, it gets crazy. Dude, It's crazy right out the gate after 1.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be crazy right out the gate.
I think it's pretty much a foregone conclusion at this point that Bryce Young's going to go number 1 minus 5,000 odds.
Dude, he looked like a man ready to go 1. Did you see him? Just a nice suit.
My man Adam, hey man, thanks for hopping in. He said, let's go Anthony Richardson. Basel said, Bijan Robinson just to see my reaction. Hey, that's a hell of a football player. I mean, in a draft, Basel, where you probably have, 4 blue chip players. Now, you've got some questions in those positions. Jalen Carter obviously being one, Bijan Robinson being there. I believe Will Anderson and Bryce Young also would be one of those 4. Somebody's going to get a really good football player. I don't know how high people go to Atlanta. We did in the live stream mock draft, Steven and I, Basel, I can't remember if you were a part of that. We did number 10 to the Eagles, or I did anyways. I say we, but I did number 10 to the Eagles. What do you think about that fit, Basel? You think that would be a good one there? And I don't think Quentin's still in here with us. And then also, obviously, Adam, he wants AT45 on here. He wants Anthony Richardson. Pretty big sentiment around in Colts Nation. The hatred for Will Levis is pretty high, and the love for Anthony Richardson is the total opposite. But I'll be honest with you guys. I think at the end of the day, flip a coin. I think one of those 2 guys will be the quarterback here in about an hour. As we get ready to get going. I think number 1, as Goodell's getting ready to do it. And to just let you guys know a little bit, there we go. Corey Lampkin's in here, man. Glad to have you. Appreciate you hopping on, brother. I think Corey Lampkins is going to be on the Anthony Richardson train, but you let us know, Corey, what you feel. Basel did see that. He said it'd be a home run pick for the Eagles. Dude,
It'd be a big pick. It'd be,
scary.
You had that to the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean that's a.
Also heard. Have you heard the rumor? Obviously, smoke's coming out right before is somebody, a draft expert. I think it's John Vogel on Twitter had put out that he had heard the Eagles were fishing around the 3rd pick, and so I asked him because I know him from back in the day a little bit. Who would they even be looking at? And he said absolutely it's Jalen Carter.
Wow,
and that kind of surprised me. That Jalen Carter would go top 5. I mean, that would be a shocking one. He
kind of makes sense, though. If you think about it, like they're one of the few teams that have the luxury of maybe taking a chance on a super talent, because if it doesn't work out, you still have one hell of a football team, obviously, with what they did last year and how they've always been up front, rotating those guys in and out. Yeah, I mean, that would be interesting. Jalen Carter to the Eagles. Yeah, for the pocketbook, we don't want Jalen Carter going to the Eagles. We want Jalen Carter to go 7 or higher, if that's what we're trying to do as far as doing that, guys. But if you haven't already, you got just a little bit of time. Get your bets in on WagerWire. I mean, seriously, like go over there, shop those odds, play them all the way up to the buzzer, and then just trade them if you have to. Shop them around, take that money, take that opportunity to use that. Head on over to WagerWire, www.wagerwire.com. We'll be propping that up throughout the show. This is always powered by WagerWire, and we're so happy to be partnered with them. Obviously, Corey is very, very happy. And then Basel chimes in. The contrarian, as always, which we love. Anyone but Richardson. He just does not want Richardson. I don't know. I went back and forth. It's probably going to be Levis if he's there, but it does feel a little bit weird that would have leaked out like 2 weeks ago all along that we were just on Levis, and that's who we've been with the whole time. That's a little fishy to me. That being said, maybe somebody just got a hold of it and they ran with it. I mean, it's very interesting.
It could. I mean, I'm interested to see the reaction, right?
Yeah.
From in here, from in general, on who the Colts pick, because I feel like it's a very divided between the two camps, between Levis and Richardson, and then Stroud. Stroud, I think, is just I don't think he gets past 3 if he drops over 2. I think someone's coming up to get him. I don't see it. So I think it's going to be the 2 that we've always thought. Part of me, I've been very hesitant to be okay with Anthony Richardson because of kind of the glaring flaws that I feel like he had. Like somebody pointed out to me, they pointed out on with the next pick that Levis asked Manning about his, like, how do you manage like your social stuff instead of asking like a football question.
Yeah.
And my response was they also showed Anthony Richardson dirting balls and overthrowing receivers.
Yeah. I mean, it's an either or type of situation.
I'm interested to see the reaction. And like you said, Goodell is finally on the stage.
Yeah,
he's getting ready to
he's got the obligatory boo, which everybody does every single time. They always boo him when he walks out on stage.
They boo? Do they not boo? I can't think of a commissioner they don't boo. I think they don't boo the NBA. I don't think they boo Adam Silver.
Yeah,
he's the only one who doesn't get booed. Everybody gets booed.
Not sure about that, but they give it to him and he takes it all in stride. That's 100%. But hey, I mean, it is officially draft time. I mean, he's getting ready to throw the Carolina Panthers on the clock, and I do expect with the Carolina Panthers, I think Bryce Young is going to be the pick. Obviously, the NFL loves for you to take all the time on that first pick, even when you know who you're going to take. So I wouldn't be too alarmed about how long they take to make that pick. I think I expect it to be that way.
Well, I heard something. You'll find this interesting, man. I heard something on local radio. They were talking. You remember the old GM for the Titans, Floyd Reese? He's passed away a few years ago now.
Yeah.
But he used to be on the radio, and he was talking. They played a clip from him, and he was discussing why they take all the time, why these teams, especially in the first round, why in the high first round, why they take all this time. And he said that a lot of times it is because they're fielding calls. So, like, let's say you're sitting at 5 and you get a call and someone offers you like all these picks and you say, okay, let me call you back. And then he says you hang the phone up and 2 minutes, 30 seconds later, you're getting another call offering from somebody else. So that's a lot of times why they're taking all this time, even though we think we know that they know who they want. Like Shane Steichen said it the best. He has no clue. He has no clue who they're picking because here comes Mahomes with the Lombardi.
Here comes Mahomes.
And Kelsey. You know what's funny? I like Kelsey. He annoys me. I love his podcast, but he definitely annoys me.
Yeah, man. I mean, they do a great job, him and his brother. They've got a really great dynamic on their podcast too, by the way.
It's so good. They don't need our promotion, but man, if you don't listen to that show, you should go check it out because that's awesome.
Good stuff. Yeah. I think Basil's chiming in with Adam Silver's the one that needs the booing the most. That's hilarious, by the way. But yeah, I mean, we'll see I think the draft really, in my mind, Steven, the draft really starts at 2, right? Like,
yeah,
I mean,
I think so.
I think that's what we're going to see, and that's where it's going to kind of all come to fruition. And there's been this debate at number 2. You're going to go quarterback, or are you going to go the best defensive player? And then you're going to come back with 12, or you're going to trade maybe back up into the top 10 and get your quarterback that way. And it seems like the consensus has been now that that's what they are going to do. They're going to go defense with that second pick. Will Anderson seems to be a hot name out there. For some reason, he hasn't been like the hot pick at number 2 or number 3, but he should have been all along.
You go. I'll be right back.
All right, man. I just think that Will Anderson is going to be a very good pro for the next 10, 12 years. I mean, I really do. I think he has an amazing opportunity to – first of all, very rarely do you get a pass, an edge guy who is so effective against the run. So for me, I mean, he would be my number 1 defensive player off the board. And he's a high character guy. Really seems like he fits what Nick Caserio would always want. D'Amico Ryans, high character, high motor, just really good football players coming out of Alabama. We all know how Belichick and Alabama and that relationship they developed over the years with Nick Saban really seems like that, a Will Anderson will make a lot of sense, even though there's been a little bit of smoke for, Will Levis. There's been a little bit of smoke for C.J. Stroud. Who do you guys think goes number 2? Hit us up in the comments. As we're getting ready, we're in the green room. We can see that Bryce Young's back there. Pick hasn't been called yet, but we'll certainly be able to announce it just as soon as it comes out. As we get going, fully expect Bryce Young to be the first pick in this draft. Would be the first shocker of this draft if he's not called. And good for him. He's a hell of a football player. He's earned it, man. I mean, he really has. So we'll just see when it comes down to it. But the pick that we care the most about is the number 4 pick. And we've had people hop in here and say Anthony Richardson. Hadn't really had anybody say Stroud or Levis. So I think the consensus overall is just been Anthony Richardson. And I'd be curious to know what you do love about Richardson. What do you see in Richardson? How does that look in a Shane Steichen offense? How does he turn into being this unicorn in the NFL that everybody thinks he has the potential of being? Or do you have another quarterback that you like better? Let us know as we get going. Check out a little bit of the update. Yeah, I think here as we're watching it on the NFL Network, I don't know where you guys are watching it. Waiting for the picks to come out, waiting for the picks to come through. Get over here and check on Twitter, see if there's anything popping out here, social media related, that we can fill you in on. Man. Looks like I'm trying to see if there's an updated live betting odds that we're going to go with and see if there's any indication of who it's going to be. Looks like Caesar's app is taking it down, so there must be some sort of a movement here, either 2 or 3. Stephen, they haven't quite called the pick yet, but
hey, let me ask you, Zach, when you're watching, how much time you got on the clock?
6:46. Where are you at?
Perfect. Same thing. I was just making sure we're lined up.
Okay. Yep.
It's got. I mean, I'm super interested to see what happens. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just interested in actually getting going. ATV says, "Boo, Patrick Mahomes." Look at Bryce Young standing up. He's like, "All right, man. I know it. I know the deal, man. I got to get ready. I'm getting ready to go out there." And
what do you think? Do you kind of low key want to see what he looks like next to Goodell, like height wise?
Yeah, I mean, he's a short guy. I mean,
Frank looks happy, man.
I mean, how could you not be?
Dude, there's no talking either. Oh, he's calling the pick in right now. He's calling the pick in.
Yeah, he's calling the pick in with 5:56 left on the clock.
Definitely keep your phone off because.
And I agree with him. Because this is a no-brainer. I mean, this to me is a slam dunk.
He's been your favorite quarterback through the entire since February.
Time. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'm a little jealous that they're getting him, but good for them. Good for Frank. I thought Frank was a really good guy while he was here. He did a good job with the fan base. So, you got to root a little bit for Frank. Unfortunately, I wish that we would have been the ones to trade up for number one. But that being said, that doesn't look like it's going to be the case. And hopefully they call this pick in, and then we're not 4 picks away. We're 3 picks away from finding out the next era of the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, that is exciting for us to even be a part of this.
Too, that as soon as I thought about this today, the cooler thing is let's go with they're gonna make this pick at quarterback. He's the dude. Top 4 pick. We all know that guy is on Irsay's private plane tonight. And he's being introduced in Indy tomorrow.
And it's not that far, man. I mean, Kansas City to Indianapolis, I mean, that's what I bet that's a little hour and a half.
In the 747 or the little one he sent for like Matt Ryan and Carson Wentz.
Yeah. I think he sends his best. They're in there clapping right now, celebrating. They're happy with they got their guy. Said it from the beginning. You trade up to number 1, you pick the right guy. No one's ever going to talk about what you gave up to get there. And we're getting ready to find out really soon just what they have in store with the expectation here for the pick to be Bryce Young. I mean, that would be – it doesn't –
Basil got a good question. What QBs do you guys like if for whatever reason the Colts don't get one in the first?
None. Don't even talk. Basil, nope. Steven, time out.
You don't want to speak that evil?
Basil, don't even manifest that tonight. We can't have that happening.
Hey, I want to say one thing too to Basil and to everyone as we're sitting here. Like Zach said, we're gonna go minimum. We're gonna go top 10 picks. We plan to be here with you guys. You guys can get our reaction to it. I don't have it on here. It is here. Like you're gonna see me and Zach kind of coming and going sometimes too, because obviously we got to take little breaks here and there, right? But I want to point out too, we would love it if you guys want to drop like almost into a tip jar. We don't ever really ask. If you guys want to drop a little tip, drop a super chat question if you want to make sure as you're coming in and out that we read it, that we don't miss it, because it's different than our other live streams. We're kind of we're talking with y'all, but we are actively watching too. So we don't want to miss questions. But if you want to do that, hey man, we would love that, because this is gonna be a fun night. It could be a long night.
Sure.
As it drags.
I want to answer Bos's question though. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I guess it would be Hendon Hooker. I mean, if you didn't end up going with this 4th pick, I guess it would be Hendon Hooker, but I don't like the idea of just not picking there at 4. I mean, very rarely are you in a position, very rarely in a position at 4 to pick a quarterback. And I don't like the idea of trading out of it. I don't like the idea of taking a guy that has even more question marks, because the further you go down in the draft, obviously those players have more question marks. So
he brings up obviously Marino being the 6th overall pick.
But that's not second round. That's
clarify, Basil. Do you mean later in like us taking one, like trading back into the teens and taking one, or do you mean just not taking one in the first and going into the 2nd or the 3rd round? Because I mean, there are quarterbacks that Jaron Hall is one that I think they like. Yeah. They've had him in, but that's like a 4th rounder. DTR from UCLA is another one, but that's like a 3rd, 4th, 5th rounder. Are you comfortable as a Colts fan punting? You don't need to be this high again. Here we go. Let's see.
You're going to get the first pick here. We'll all kind of sit back together and watch this first pick in the draft. Bryce Young. No shot there.
Look, there's Saban. Of course.
Yeah, hey, they match a little bit. They got a little bit of pink and salmon going on with their
same height as Saban too.
Hey, good for that kid. He's earned it.
Dude, this is completely separate from the
jealous
pick.
Moment, but at the end of the day, he just got drafted by the Carolina Panthers, and he is no longer a Colt, and I could care less about Bryce Young. Life goes on.
Completely separate from this too, and as we're talking with the draft and everything, amazing looking setup that they're at in Kansas City. It looks really cool.
It does.
Yeah, inside that station, train almost like it looks really nice.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice facility.
Is this? Oh, that's a picture. Okay. Oh, he's in a mirror. Okay, his hat didn't fit.
That's pretty cool, man. How they're kind of letting you in, through that little hallway, the venue they got going on.
That's pretty cool.
You're right. It's a very nice little setup. They've taken a lot of time to kind of set this up, and there he is out on stage. I mean, first pick in the NFL draft, and obviously his dreams are just, my gosh, to be that guy standing on that stage right now is pretty cool. Pretty cool moment for all of these guys who's going to get their name called tonight. I believe 31, since Miami's not going to have a pick this year. So let's see. Basel says, yeah, that's what I meant. Round 3+, like Toon, McKee, etc.
Yeah, that'd be Jaron Hall, DTR for me. I like those guys.
Not much for me. I mean, I'm not much on that train.
I'm not saying I'd want it. Hey,
yeah.
Want to hear a fun fact about Bryce Young going number 1 overall that I heard?
What's that?
He is the first Alabama player to go number 1 overall.
Really?
That's what they said.
That's almost incredible.
First Alabama player or first Alabama quarterback? I feel like it's the first player. Correct me, Basel. You can correct me, man. I know you will if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
but
Basel,
I think they said that. I know he is now the smallest ever drafted number 1 overall. The smallest quarterback.
Yeah. If you're watching his highlights right here, especially against LSU, very elusive, but eyes are always down the field. He just loves to attack down vertically, especially under pressure. I think the guy's going to have a good, solid career if his body can hold up. I think the build was the only concern with him, but just not the talent, and he's got it all. He's been great since high school. He was great in college. He's probably going to be great in the NFL. How many quarterbacks does Frank Bright get? Hey, that's fair.
Pick 3 is the highest they've ever gone.
That's fair. Also, fun fact, my wife just Google checked. Pick 3 is as high as they've gone with Alabama player.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, man. I mean, that's wild with all of the talent that they've had out there.
They have Bryce Young listed at 204. We all know he's like 185, right?
Yeah, he's a small guy. But nevertheless, he's not going to have a small bank account after tonight. I can tell you that.
See, I was telling my wife something like that. We were talking about it one day and said, that's something with this too that I really enjoy. Like, these are guys, like you said, this is a dream come true. This is everything they've worked for. The culmination of it, but also like just sitting here too, you now are watching kids who are completely changing the trajectory of their family's life.
Sure.
The amount of money they're instant millionaires. It's crazy to think about that, but that account's going to hit, and they have changed their family's trajectory for generations, which is really cool.
You know what I just thought about, Steven?
What?
There's a chance. We just talked about, top 3. 3 was as high as Alabama had went. There's a chance Alabama goes 1-2 in this draft.
It is. There's a good chance.
I mean, it's a great chance. I mean, Will Anderson's on the board. In my opinion, he's the most solid defensive player to take. And this is really where the draft starts. This is where the dominoes start to fall. You've got 3 viable quarterbacks left on the board. You've got Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, and C.J. Stroud. Mm-hmm. And they're all available right now. Until these picks get made, we'll see where it goes. But that being said, we're probably about 30, 40 minutes away. It's just one of those things.
Oh, dude, Texans pick is already in. The Texans pick is in. They did not trade it.
Wow.
It is already in. Bryce Young is still on the stage.
Is this a quarterback?
Dude, D'Amico's talking to somebody, and he's pretty happy. They're not showing the green room. Did you know? Have you noticed that?
Did this just happen? Did they just dupe everybody and say, "Hey, we're going to take a quarterback here too"?
Oh my gosh.
Dude, D'Amico looks happy. They're not showing the green room. They're not showing because he's on the phone with somebody. If they showed that green room, you'd know who he's talking to.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, dude! They couldn't. Bryce Young was still talking on the stage.
That's
stunning.
probably the quickest I've ever seen a number 2 get called in, which means they just all along knew who they were going to take at number 2. And
dude, who is it? Who is it?
They didn't call it in. They ran it in, brother. I mean, they didn't call it in.
Crazy.
I mean, they could not wait to call this pick in.
Who do you think it is? Real quick, who do you think it is? You think it's a quarterback? You think?
I think it's going to be. I think it might be CJ. You never. I mean, it's got to be a quarterback, right? You know, call it in that
decisive. Here we go, dude. This is crazy. CJ Stroud. Holy smokes, dude!
All of that. Just for the build up, just for that. CJ Stroud gone.
Wow.
Want to take a moment of silence, hold our drink up. We're very sorry, Derek Larger.
Texans just proved it. They duped everybody on who they. No one knew who they were going to pick. That is crazy. Now what happens at 3? Now 3 gets super interesting, right? Who are the Cardinals going to trade out? Are they going to go ahead because Will Anderson's on the board and we know they like him?
He's literally as shocked as the rest of us.
He does look stunned.
He's genuinely he might be as surprised as we are right now. And
he looks super happy for someone who supposedly didn't want to go to Houston.
Well, and not just that, but I mean, this all looked like he wasn't even gonna. He might not even be drafted in the top 5. He could slide, and the Houston Texans took, I mean, no time making this pick. Like this was done deal. I mean, this was.
Would you be stunned if the Colts turned theirs in that quickly?
I mean, dude, if there's a trade at number 3, could this be like the first year ever that we have, that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 quarterback? It's never happened before, by the way.
My brother.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe that.
They thought they weren't picking CJ.
CJ. I did not think they were. I thought everything that we saw.
No man. CJ wins the contest. Love it. Yeah, Derek Larger is probably hurting right now. But very interesting. Very interesting. Now, I was wrong on the pick. I'll be the first to say that, but I did say during the live stream and the mock draft, if they stay there, it just doesn't make sense for them to not take a quarterback at number 2, right? Like you're either taking a quarterback at 2 or you're trading out.
Yeah.
I mean
it makes sense.
We've got the Arizona Cardinals on the clock, I guess, right?
You would think if a trade's going to happen, that it's going to happen soon, right? They're on the clock. It's going to happen soon. I would also, I might be completely wrong, but everything the tea leaves everyone said was the Titans were moving up for CJ Stroud. If he's off the board, does that eliminate the Titans as one of the teams trying to trade up?
Yeah, I mean, you would maybe, if you believe that intel, but traditionally, Stephen, we hear a lot of this trade chatter, and it just never actually happens in the top 5. Just because of what you'd have to give up. That being said, I mean, obviously the Panthers have already traded from 9 to 1. So you got to count that one. But CJ Stroud, extremely accurate quarterback, great ball placement, just a winner all around. We all saw what he did in the Georgia game. So
it's a great pick, dude. He's
a very emotional guy right now. Like, you got to be
so emotional about it. It's fantastic, though.
Well, because he went through a lot in the last week because, I mean, in his mind, he thought he was number 2 all along. And then, you can't help but be a human being and read all of these articles that you're sliding and you're not going to be, that you're not going to be, this, that, or the other. But, hey,
just dragging you through the mud, essentially, for the last – he got dragged through the mud for the last week. Kind of essentially told he was stupid, too, if you think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean –
I'm happy for him. I hate that he's on the Texans. Going to play him twice a year. He's the most pro-ready quarterback, I think, of all of them.
He's going to be a super –
He's going to be really good.
Super accurate quarterback. Tyrell's popping in here. It says Levis is coming.
Dude, so did Basil. Basil said, all right, Levis or trade back.
Levis or trade back. That's not a terrible scenario. I mean, we'll just have to see what happens at 3. I mean,
I don't think the Cardinals are making this trade, man. They got $1.50 left on the clock.
Yeah, I mean,
I think they go Will Anderson. I think if they make a pick, they go Will Anderson.
Or maybe they go the tackle direction. You know, that's a possibility.
Harris Johnson.
They definitely don't need a quarterback. So, I mean, you wouldn't think if they pick. I mean, he seems to be head down, not super serious about making any calls, working the phones, maybe, you know, doing texting and trying to get something drummed up here. You'd have to think
super relaxed. That's the owner. The one Monty, their new GM, was the bald guy standing up. He, I don't know. I mean, you got a minute left. You would think that they would have already dealt the pick potentially, but they're going to get. Here's the thing, fun here. Wouldn't it just be so this year's draft if
are the Texans trading back up?
No freaking way. They did. The Texans traded back.
Who said that on the live stream? Who said that?
You did. Oh my God.
I did.
Holy dude, this is like draft day. It's like watching draft day.
I said that on the live stream. I said, you know what would be the most unbelievable draft move is for the Texans to select 2 and 3. Bam. Look what they're getting ready to do right now.
Okay.
Hey, here's the good news about that.
But look at Boswell. Oh shit.
They're not taking another quarterback. That's the good news. They're not taking another quarterback.
Now you got your pick between your 2 guys. You can get your guy. Richardson or Will Levis. Who are you taking? Holy shit. Oh my God.
This is going to be amazing.
Dude, you got to think it's Will Anderson, right? You got to think it's Will Anderson.
Well, now.
Or you think it's Tyree Wilson?
You got to give D'Amico a pass rusher, right?
Yeah, I think it's Anderson. The connection.
Let's just sit here and see. Man, how could it not be Will Anderson?
Okay, I don't like the Texans. I don't like Nick Caserio. What a power play move, dude. What a move to do. And here's the thing. Colts could sit here at 4 and get exactly who they wanted the entire time. Well, that's the crazy thing.
They are going to get they're going to get their pick of one of the 2 quarterbacks.
Hey, now we're going to see who was right. Everyone has said that if Richardson and Levis were both on the board at 4, that the Colts were going to take Richardson. Is that going to actually be the case?
Man, we're going to see. Pick is in, so let's just wait for it to be announced.
Selection.
The good news is, if you're the Indianapolis Colts and you're picking,
are you running the card up?
You're going to get one of those 2 quarterbacks. You now know that guys, the next quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts, unless something crazy happens, the next quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts will be either Anthony Richardson or Will Levis. I mean,
what if they trade back? What if he trades back?
I'll throw up in my mouth if they trade back. Honest to God. I mean, like, just not even just pick it for, man. You know, I mean,
here we go.
Will Anderson.
Will Anderson. Dude, they got both guys that everyone thought they could get, and they got them at 2 and 3. What did they give?
This is not a good draft. This is a great draft for the Houston Texans.
Dude, that's amazing.
Not a good one, great one. And they duped everybody because guess what? They wanted Will Anderson the whole time, but knowing that they were going to trade back up, they didn't have to take Will Anderson at 2. They just went ahead and took C.J. Stroud at 2, and now they're at 3. And they got a really good football player. But guess what, Steven? All eyes right now on the Indianapolis Colts, the number 4 pick. They are on the clock. And it's time, man. I mean, all this talk, all of the live streams, all of the everything. I mean, Zell's going to say, just want to take a quick second to shout everybody out real quick and just kind of do a little bit of housekeeping. You know, AO, Nomad, Basel, KZell. I mean, every single person who's had an opportunity to comment in here, Tyrell. Thank you so much. As he gives the, the big embrace, picks up Roger Goodell as the third pick in the NFL draft. That's 2 Alabama guys in the first 3 picks. Wow, what a trade. What a move for, the Houston Texans. And it's going to be hard to outdo that, right? You're getting the 2nd and the 3rd pick in the NFL draft. 2 premium players, too. Like, not just, you're not just getting – you got a blue-chip player and probably the most accurate quarterback in this draft. And
you heard the rumor. The rumor for the longest time was they're going to take Willie. Like, the rumor lately was Will Anderson at 2, right? And then they might try to work their way back up to get C.J. Stroud. But they knew – I'll give them credit, man. They knew if they didn't take Stroud, they might get outbid to come back up. But no one's outbidding you to go get Will Anderson. And it also shows that, in my opinion, Anthony Richardson and Will Levis, they're not as coveted enough to trade up to try to get that. Someone wasn't going to jump above them, but gee.
And there's a possibility, all along, that they wanted.
What a power play, man.
Yeah, it was.
That's a power move.
That's what you do. What you do when you want to win. When you want to win football games. That is.
It just got better. They definitely just got much better. Wow.
Yeah, that is wow. The AFC South just got a lot stronger. You got for sure the most surefire best defensive player in the draft, and you might end up getting the best offensive player. When it's all said and done. I don't know how C.J. Stroud's gonna show up for them, but wow and wow. I'm a little bit taken back.
I'll give Basel. Basel says, "Calm down. It's still the Texans, but they can still be bad." But you got to appreciate like the boldness of the moves that they just did. Like that's like you don't see a GM trade up to go back-to-back picks and inside the top 5. You just don't. I give them huge credit. Colts got 4
minutes and 21 seconds left on this, and guys,
it's a spirited debate on West 56th.
It's a spirited debate. It's crazy. I hope that because there's 2 quarterbacks left, I hope that Chris Ballard's he's fighting the temptation to trade back a few spots to just maybe get another quarterback. Pick is in. I don't want to hear it. Don't put any of that stuff up here. We don't want to see it.
Really quickly before they announce it, Basel did say
it looks like the Texans
12, got 33 and 73.
Wow. The Cardinals just got the 12th, a 2nd-round pick, a 1st-round next year, and a 3rd-round next year. That's a damn good haul for the Cardinals as well. It really is. And right here, baby, we're West 56. They're calling in the trade. They're on the phone.
Jim's talking to somebody, man. You see him down there?
Jim's talking to somebody. Shane's looking up. Chris is just calm as a cucumber, which, it is what it is. We've already called our guy. And this is going to be the new era of the Indianapolis Colts starts the moment.
I'm still worried.
Stage,
I'm still sitting here a little frightened that it's not going to be a quarterback.
I don't think so because Will Anderson's gone. I think the fact that Will Anderson's off of the board, that helps a lot for us. Like that, I think that takes a little bit of the temptation away. As my phone is just beeping, so somebody knows something already. But we're gonna enjoy this in real time. We're gonna see it as you see it.
My phone is upside down on vibrate in the corner.
I'm sitting back. I'm not even reading the comments in case somebody gets the feed faster than we get, because I want to experience this with the Colts fan base just like everybody else. And I don't like reading the leaks. I don't like seeing it. I like seeing the commissioner call the pick in. Yeah, it's been in. I guess Roger Goodell's back there taking a smoke break or something here.
It's funny because over Joe Klatt's shoulder, you can see the Seahawks on the clock with 8 minutes.
Yeah.
So, they're already on the clock. They Goodell's just got to come up and see this.
It always moves that way. You can see Colts Nation kind of in the background on the left-hand corner right there on the NFL Network. And definitely.
Oh my God, the anticipation, man.
The anticipation is wild, and also, I'll be honest with you, a lot quicker.
Colt selection.
A lot quicker. Here we go, man. I mean, he's going to walk on stage and the next quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts, hopefully for the next 10, 12, 15 years, Roger Goodell. Anthony Richardson, baby.
Whoa!
What a move. Oh my gosh. What a bold move right there. The Indianapolis Colts just select Anthony Richardson with the 4th pick. And I said Ballard wouldn't do it, and I apologize. Damn if he didn't do it, man. I mean, he went out and picked the 4th quarterback, it's unbelievable. I mean,
3 quarterbacks in the top 4, man. 3 quarterbacks in the top 4.
3 quarterbacks in the top 4, which is just mind-blowing. I mean,
if you had told me 6 months ago, watching him play at University of Florida, when I was watching the Florida State game, that was going to be the quarterback, that was going to be the next quarterback for the Colts.
That's a Colt right there, baby. That's a Colt right there. That's a Colt. Come on, man.
Dude, I'm loving the emotion. I love how excited he is.
Hey, he's no longer just a Florida Gator. He's an Indianapolis Colt.
He's no longer a Gator in my mind. He is a Colt.
I mean,
he is a horseshoe guy.
And make no mistake about it. We just got a freak athlete, and you can debate anything you want to debate, but the one thing that you cannot debate is he is the most athletic quarterback in the NFL. The NFL draft has ever seen. Look at this launch point. If you watch him on the sudden movement right there, flick of the wrist, ball out against Georgia. You see him taking that steady. He avoids the contact. He keeps going, eyes down the field. Fake option read. Watch him spin move straight through, bouncing off people because he is 6'4", 245 pounds. They cannot bring him down. And then this notorious run against LSU. I mean, watch this. I mean, this guy's just that's a running back playing quarterback. Pretty special. And man, I'm gonna tell you right now, that's Chris Ballard being as bold as Chris Ballard can possibly be. And that's a big deal. You know, that's a big move. And that's something so uncharacteristic of what, Chris Ballard has done in the past. I want to take a moment and just listen to him right now as he's being kind of talked to here.
You called yourself Cam Jackson, the combination of the 2 players. What kind of player are you going to be?
I'm a dynamic player for the franchise. I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna be a leader. That's how I make my own race. No more kind of judge. Just Anthony Richardson.
Enjoy it all. These are happy news. Congratulations.
There you go. Anthony Richardson, Indianapolis Colt.
I like it, man. I mean, I'm gonna
come on now. Yeah, I mean that's.
Dude, I'll tell you what. The chat is divisive right now.
Let's get some of the
let's trade him post selection. Tyrell, this dude can't throw. Nomadic Brian, Steichen will mold Richardson, I believe. We got a guy coming in here, Keon Archer, take good care of my college QB. You got Basel. He was not more athletic than RG3. Keep the hyperbole in check.
Anthony Richardson hype. Everybody who loves Anthony Richardson.
They're going to. I mean, was this not probably one of the most mocked outside of Bryce Young in the last several weeks? Like it was always the Will Levis smoke was there a lot, but it was pretty consistent. Like from Stephen Holder to Stephen Holder put out his tweet thread this morning saying he thought that it was going to be Richardson.
Yep. And there it is. I mean, it's definitely there.
Basel, I'm going to let you stew in your upsetness for a little while, but when we get on the live stream next time, we got to start supporting him, man. We want him to do well. We want him to improve. I think he needs to play right away. I do. And maybe not starting right away, but packages. He's got to get on the field. He has to get on the field. He needs reps.
Yeah. I mean, this is pretty big. Tim and Indy says, "Let's go Colts." He loves it. man, I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty fired up. If you guys haven't had a chance to join the No Horsing Around family, which most of you have, go ahead and tap in, do that. As we're here through the top 10 picks of this NFL draft on this live stream. But if you haven't seen, if you've been under a rock, Indianapolis Colts select Anthony Richardson from Florida, dynamic quarterback, fastest 40 time, highest vertical, think fastest short shuttle, and fastest three cone in NFL history for a quarterback. He is something to watch, man. I mean, he's a special athlete. And if they can ever tap into that ability to harness that arm and make him an accurate quarterback, you got you something that is just completely special, and really rare and never been seen in the NFL.
What you're doing right now, like me and you had talked about this is I think this is what I ultimately think. I think they liked Levis. I think they liked Richardson. I think it was kind of almost not split, I think. But I think that they let Shane Steichen, this was, which one do you prefer? We're split down the middle. Which one do you prefer? And you're banking on him being the guy that can develop Richardson to that ceiling that he has, which, I mean, everyone knows, like everybody knows what I've said about Richardson leading up. I mean, I was okay with it. I'm okay with it. It's a great pick. We all have our preferences, right? But he has the highest ceiling. I don't think that was deniable. Now, can he reach it? That's now your job. But I can tell you this much. He will immediately, and I know Boswell might disagree with me, he immediately electrifies and rejuvenates the fan base that was basically DOA last year. I mean, we saw it in our live streams after every game and on our videos.
Let's run through some of these. I didn't mean to cut you off, Stephen. Let's run through some of these comments real quick. KZL says RG3 is nowhere near as athletic as AR-15. I will agree. And then Nomad says, good point. Now we have to be patient. Let's get behind our new quarterback. Go Colts. Brian says happy with AR-15. Daniel says now the Colts need to move up and get their cornerback or wide receiver in the lower first round. Not typical, something that Chris Ballard does. However, also not typical taking a quarterback like Chris Ballard just took with the fourth pick. So I will
we've heard rumblings. We had like our boy Kevin Bowen has kind of heard, not rumblings, but he has talked about could we see Ballard if the run's not there and you have a player that you really like that's dropping to the tail end of the second round.
Yeah.
Could he move up and try to snag him? It'll be interesting. Unboxing Mania, it's a great question. Will AR start year one? I think he has to. I'll go first. I'll let you go because I've been adamant on it. I think he absolutely has to. I don't know if you start day one. Maybe you've got packages, but the guy has 13 collegiate starts. The only way you get experience is by getting experience, and the only way you do that is by playing. He's got to play, and his legs are going to make it to where he can.
Well, and not just that, but I mean, I think I agree with you. As my wife over here, big Colts fan, chime in as well. Same sentiment. You got to play them, man. I mean, you cannot get experience without playing football. I mean, you're going to take your lumps. Peyton Manning was 3-13 year one. I mean, he turned out to be pretty damn good, right? Like you're going to have to live with that part of him early on. Most plays even right off the bat that you're just going to be like, holy cow. As a selection for the Seattle Seahawks are in. Let's hope it ain't Jalen Carter here. But
Devin Witherspoon. That's a good pick. That's a solid pick.
You want to talk? That's the guy. I actually had him mocked as the 6th pick going to Detroit Lions. Now, you want to talk about a guy who's got a little bit of FU in him. I mean, he is a hell of a cornerback, and I've said it on several podcasts in the past. He allowed 1 yard in the slot this year. I mean, 1 freaking yard in the slot. I mean, that's pretty I mean, he is getting contact. He is not letting you catch the ball off the release. He is a physical dude. Definitely a very good football player. And Seattle, they said, you know what? We're going to take the best player available, kind of like they always do. They don't really care about all of the rest. And we got Tariq Woolen and him now. I mean,
you got to think like it fits them, right? Like that fits a Pete Carroll pick. Now the fun question becomes the slide of Will Levis, right? Does he slide and how far? And let's say he gets to.
And my question is Tennessee just in a position now where they can just sit there and say he's going to fall right in our lap?
That was going to be my question: is does Tennessee? Because we know Tennessee brought him in for a top 30 visit. Does Tennessee sit there and just wait, or do they get happy feet and maybe try to trade up? It's a lot easier to trade up to like a 7 or an 8, and take him. Does he sit there? How far does he go?
I can't imagine him sliding past. I don't know. I can't imagine him sliding past Tennessee, honestly, because there is definitely talent there. But we'll just see. Because I mean, you're looking at some teams now that don't necessarily, have to have a quarterback, but you got teams like a Detroit. Could they go quarterback here? Like maybe not anticipating that somebody like Will Levis would fall in their lap and saying, you know what? Maybe it's our time to go out and get a young quarterback and kind of develop him with Jared Goff as our starter this year and just bring him along.
It could be. But Levis was viewed more pro-ready, obviously, than Richardson, right? Like I think that was a heavily mocked one going to the Lions was Richardson. So I'm gonna pop some of these comments real quick because they were talking about Nomadic Brian, and maybe by game 7 or 8 at the earliest is when he wants him. Daniel says by about game 6, but he wants him playing, which I agree. In packages, he's in those 6 games. And then Nomadic Brian with a great one, Vegas bet what game will AR make his debut? And then Daniel's got a great question of if there's a run on QB or on corners in the first, would you trade back into the first to get one of the top corners?
I don't think he's gonna. I understand. I don't think he's gonna. I think there's quite a bit of cornerback depth in this draft as well. I think some players are going to be there, especially drafting at the top of the second round, pick 35. I don't necessarily see it happening. I do think there's going to be a good amount of corners taken. We need a corner, but my question is, what would you have to give up to get the corner? And how much would you be willing to go? Let's hit Corey Lampkins up here. My best friend. He is so excited to have AR-15 up on there. Hey, I think I speak for myself. I think I speak for a lot of Colts fans. We have never had a quarterback like this in a Colts uniform. I mean, he is so rare, so different. You're taking a chance. I mean, you really are. You're rolling the dice. Chris Ballard's betting his job on this kid. But if Chris Ballard is betting his job on this kid, you got to be pretty confident that he and Shane Steichen feel like they can make something out of this. Obviously, see what he did with Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia. Now, that took a little time, right? Like, that didn't just happen overnight. Jalen Hurts got better and better and better. But that being said, you got a pretty good athlete going to be taking snaps for you. And I say week 1, day 1, throw them out there, man. Look at this. Arizona Cardinals
traded back to 6.
They traded back up to 6, and I bet you they're going to take Jalen Carter. Who else would it be?
Who did they traded out?
They traded out back to 12 to trade up to 6.
Paris Johnson.
Oh, yeah. Good call. Yeah, this
6 might be a little high. You probably could have got him at 12. Maybe it's Tyrell Wilson, a defensive player.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know who they're going to take.
Well, I mean,
Dude, I'm stumped.
Well, you got to think
you got a lot of trades.
You got to think you would trade for a premium position, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you're not trading back up for a cornerback, let's say. I mean, maybe, I don't know, but I mean,
I was going to chime in real quick. After this pick goes in, you guys, we're going to take just a little pause. I'm going to pop up. I got to wait. I got a little. It's the only graphic that I got real quick. It's a wager wire. When we're going to take a pause, so me and Zach can maybe go to the bathroom for just a second.
Yeah,
and then we'll be right back.
Yeah, let's let this pick come through here. Looks like they probably got the pick is in. Man, I'll tell you.
They know who they want.
What? Yeah, and you think it has to be a premium position? Because why would you trade up for a non-premium position? Like that's silly.
Well,
You could just sit where you're
trades in the top 6 of this draft. That's crazy.
Yeah, you know what would be freaking crazy is if they traded up to 6 to get Bijan Robinson. That would be unbelievable. But we'll see here in just a few minutes.
Funny if they traded away Kyler Murray.
Trade away Kyler Murray.
I mean, Bijan, according to Daniel Jeremiah, Bijan is the number 1 person left on his board. Where does he have Levis? Levis is at 12. See, dude, I think Levis is going to sit there and end up with the Titans. I do.
I mean, it's very likely. I mean,
it's a very likely pick.
This has to be a real premium position because, and they're fired up.
Wow.
They're fired up about it, which, I mean, why wouldn't they be? Everybody's fired up about it when you're drafting them.
I have no clue who it is. I have no idea who it could. I mean, it could be. Gannon looked really happy, which makes me think it could have potentially been a defensive player.
Oh.
But I don't know, man.
It's got to be
Jalen Carter. You think?
I don't think so. I don't think you trade for 6 for a guy who's got a. I don't think so. I mean, I wouldn't have done that for Jalen Carter just because. I mean, you want a player who's a culture builder, new GM, new head coach. I don't know. Maybe you get him a defensive guy, and maybe you go out and get Tyree.
Paris Johnson Jr.
Fair enough. Yeah. Not a terrible trade, by the way. That's
the best tackle. A lot of people consider the best pure left tackle in the draft.
Yeah.
6'6".
Yeah. He's actually 6'6" and 3/8 of an inch. So, yeah, I mean, I mean, you've got 6 picks and you've got 2 Ohio State players and 2 Alabama players. So 4 of the 6 picks have come from 2 universities here. Pretty crazy. And as a matter of fact, let's see, you got Alabama.
Dude, who is this kid? I'm sorry. That kid is as big as Paris Johnson. Who was that guy?
He's a high school kid that's like,
oh my God.
Yeah, that's a
good
big
for
deal.
him, man.
Yeah,
that's a good pick. Protect Kyler Murray's blind side. Protect him because he's coming off an injury. That's a good pick. Even our resident pundit, Basel, even liked it. Understandable pick.
Hey, if you can make Basel happy, then you've done your job, Arizona.
I also love this.
Hey, Basel gives credit where credit's due. One thing I love about him.
I love this one, the Parenting Guru. Which shout out to you. I don't think we've ever seen you on the channel before. If you've not subscribed and joined the family, join the family, man, so you can be in here whenever we do it. I like what he says. I was praying they wouldn't announce Levis when that pick came in. When AR was announced, the house went nuts.
Yes, sir. We love that. This house went nuts.
We were pretty excited. I was excited down here. Man, I'm still stuck on it. You know, we're live streaming right now, so please don't leave. You can always go back and watch it later. But I believe Steichen and Ballard are already talking about the pick. I think they're already on the press. I got an alert from the Colts app that they were already going to be talking about the pick.
Let's pull it up.
That boy's going to be on a plane. He's going to be on Jim Irsay's private 747, 737, whatever it is, flying himself to Indy and being announced tomorrow. Now the question becomes, what number is he wearing?
Let's do hold on one second. I'll be right back.
You mean Zach? Do you need me to pop it up real quick? Do we need to take a break for a second?
I'm trying to pop it up right now. Yeah, they're just getting ready for the.
Oh, you're popping up. You're popping up the conference.
Hold on. I can't get it up. Can you get up, Steven?
Let me see, man. Give me a second. Let me look.
Yeah.
There's a chance I can. Let's see. Which I will say, I don't know if we can. I mean, if we'll play the. Here's my thing. We'll play it. I think we can play it because I've reacted to a press conference before. So we'll see if we can play this.
Yeah. Let's see if we can't get. Get a little bit of audio for the fan base here.
Can you guys hear it?
No, we can't hear it.
Can you? Can we hear it?
Can't.
You know,
We've got it up on there now, but it's just a lag on there.
it all plays into what you make.
There it is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it plays into it, but it also tells you a little bit about.
Steven, I think we got to take it down. We'll just have to. Maybe we'll do a review, at a later date and time. But I think it's just a real lag in the actual video. Let's do this. We got 2:45 left.
You know what? We can do this. We'll do this for anyone who wants it. Oh, go ahead, man.
I was just gonna say, let's take a sec here. Let's let this pick come in, number 7 pick. Let's take a pause, and then we'll come back and we'll finish up with the live stream and kind of hang out with you guys for a little bit longer and see where we're at with everything.
I want to ask a question to the chat. I'm gonna float this out there to you too. Do y'all want to? We're at 7. The pick is getting ready to come in. We had planned to go through pick 10. Are y'all having fun? You want us to keep going for a little bit, Zach? Do you want to keep going for a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're good. I think we're at a good place. We're having a good time. You never know about what the trades are having. We're just kind of hanging out. I know everybody's probably popping over there to Coast.com to see what's going on. That's okay. We'll stay here and kind of hang tight for when people want to come back. Probably be a good time to take a break. I think we'll just throw something up there for Wager Wire just for a few seconds. Let everybody do that. Let's let this 7th pick come in with the Raiders. I'm interested to see what this pick's going to be. A lot of smoke around, Christian Gonzalez right here. Don't know if that's going to actually happen. Been a little bit of a shakeup. I'm a little bit surprised that, Arizona trades out at 3 and then hops all the way back up at they hop all the way back up to 6, man.
I mean, it's a good spot to have taken him, I think. Take him at 6, not at 3.
Yeah.
If you had originally been at 6, I think you would have just stayed there and taken him.
Not just that, but you still got some extra picks for next year. You got futures next year. You probably gave up what you got this year, or you kept a little bit of what you got this year and a little bit of what you got next year. You still gained a couple extra picks, and you really only went back 3 spots, right? I mean, you went from 3 to 6 and still got the guy that you would have picked at 3 anyways. So with that perspective, it's a win. It's a win all the way around. So be interesting to see what happens on that. Let's see. We have a couple couple things floating out there.
Okay, I do like Basel. Basel said, "Football guys do football things. Are you guys covering tomorrow? If so, I could understand not sticking around. If not, dot dot dot. I can tell you this. We're going to stick around for a little while because Zach, I don't know if we've talked about it, but I don't think we plan to live stream the second round.
Yeah, I mean,
Now, if
that's
the
a-
demand is there from y'all, who
I mean,
knows?
they pick at 35. Wouldn't have a problem with just going through pick 35, but I certainly probably won't get into anything heavy. Tyree Wilson just went at number 7 for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Guy right there. Look at that.
Look at those sunglasses.
So that's a special one. I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll be right back.
I'm going to pop this up
yes,
there.
we'll
I'm
be
going to
back.
do it too.
We're gonna go through a few picks.
We're not going away, you guys. We're just popping a graphic up for you guys while we run, like, go to the bathroom, grab a drink, stuff like that. That was perfect timing to come out.
Yeah.
As always, you guys are presented by Wager Wire. You can go ahead over there and probably take bets on what jersey number Anthony Richardson's going to wear, maybe how many games he's going to start.
Yeah. Also, you can take a wager wire on how far that Will Levis is going to fall in this draft, man.
I mean, they've got it up here, dude. I don't see anybody till Tennessee at 11. I just don't.
I mean,
I could be wrong.
if you're Atlanta, would you kick the tires on it?
I don't know. I don't know how they view Desmond Ritter. If they view him as a good option,
Yeah.
do they view him as a better option? He's younger, isn't he? Younger than Levis. Levis is 22, right?
No, Levis is 24.
Is he 24? Richardson was 20. He's 20.
20, yeah. He's the youngest quarterback in the NFL draft. And we're going to see who the selection is here in just 1 second.
I wonder who this. This could be Jalen Carter. I think you're looking at the time where he could go. Can you imagine if they did Bijan Robinson?
Yeah, that would be sick. I actually think Bijan Robinson, maybe even before Jalen Carter. I kind of had Jalen Carter pegged for the Bears at pick 9, so we'll see what happens. But
If he gets past the Bears at 9, I think there's no way that the Eagles don't take him at 10.
Who are these people throwing them?
I'm not sure. Some sort of a. We'll see. Pick is in.
And I'm waiting to hear. I feel like sometimes it takes him a little long to announce it.
Yeah,
It's got to be a parody. Big brothers, big sisters.
Could be.
Oh, and he gets to make the announcement. That's awesome.
That's like once in a
Oh,
lifetime
that's why
type
he
of
was
deal.
shaking. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. And they're fired up. Good for them, man. Cheering them on. Gets to make a pick. He's so nervous.
Who wouldn't be?
Oh! Did you hear it?
Don't say it. Whoa. Bijan.
Did you call? You literally just said I prefer that one.
Yeah.
He just looks like a nice guy, doesn't he? This is
Wow.
My wife says he looks like a nice guy. If that matters in football, he definitely looks like a nice guy, though, at least. So we're ahead of the game.
You know how good you are as a running back. If in a league that dilutes the running back position, you still go top 10.
Yeah, and and that's what the draft does to you, Steven. That's what's so crazy about it. Like, these players end up going higher on draft day because they just know that other teams behind them are hot on them as well. And they end up going a little bit higher than we all anticipate. I mean, listen, he is an incredible running back.
Mm-hmm.
He can do it all, man. He can run, he can catch, he can block. I mean, you're going to get a complete football player. And now you got Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Bijan Robinson to work with Desmond Ritter. That's pretty good. Even if you're not good this year and you're bad this year, you get to come back and bring another quarterback into the mix with you. With those three weapons, that's a nice, good young core to really build upon.
I mean, that's comparison. Edgerrin James, wow. That's a
Oh yeah, I mean he's
comparison.
He's a very good football player, and he was either going to go to a team that was already really good or a team that was just bad, and they just needed the best player. And if you go with the best player available approach, with no background or anything,
Yeah.
he's the best player available. I mean, it's just that simple. I mean, he's
the best player probably.
Yeah, he's special. I mean, he's elusive. He slips off tackles. He plants his foot. He goes. He has an extra gear. And then this is the crazy part, watching him catch the ball. I mean, that is insane, man. I mean, the way he's basically I mean,
so sorry, really quickly. My brother, who's a Titans fan, he already chimed in once on the chat. He just texted me and said, "Could the Titans actually get Will Levis?" Josh, if you're watching this, man, I think it's entirely with if they want Will Levis at 11, they can get Will Levis at 11. I don't see another pick in front of him taking a quarterback. And then Basel, I just want to show a league that dilutes the running back position, but apparently wants a quarterback that can run and can't throw. So I think it's going to take a little while for Basel to come around on the pick. We love you anyway, Basel. It's okay.
Hey,
you can vent.
just
We'll
gotta
give you
wait.
we'll give you a little time to vent.
Yeah, I mean that's all that you know. Yeah, it's.
I want to ask Basel this follow up on this question that he just put. Robinson's the second best talent in the draft. Who's the first? Who does Basel have as the best talent in the draft?
I agree with that. Actually, he's the second best talent. I agree.
Who's your first? Is it Bryce Young?
Yes.
I could see Bryce Young. I would probably, if I'm saying pure talent in the draft, dude, I've got Jalen Carter really high.
I mean, the four blue guys in the draft, talent wise, Jalen Carter, Will Anderson, Bijan Robinson, Bryce Young. I mean, that's your four guys. And now the Philadelphia Eagles just traded up one spot with the Chicago Bears. We've never seen trades like this many trades inside the top 10. It's pretty wild.
I'm delayed. I didn't see that yet.
They trade. That's kind of a wild thing that just happened. Like they traded from 10 to 9. My question is, why would you do that?
I think it's for Jalen Carter. I've said that a couple times now, but we've also always said we didn't see him getting past 10. But I don't know why the Bears, who were consistently being looked at as that's who they wanted, why they would flip with him. Like that's the interesting part.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing: if the Bears didn't want Jalen Carter at all, why wouldn't you just stay at 10 and pick Jalen Carter? Could it be Nolan Smith right now? Could we have a Nolan Smith situation where this guy, you know, has obviously been kind of compared to a little bit of a Micah Parsons comp? Could you have maybe made a trade for that? The trade's kind of weird. I'll be honest with you. The flip-flop of the trade seems a little bit weird, but
I'm going to be the only one too. The trades are coming so quickly. I've not seen a lot of what the compensation for the trades are.
It could be a little bit diluted too, because I think right now what's going on with the Eagles is they just got burnt. I think they were sitting at 10 hoping to get Bijan Robinson. And well, we all know that ain't going to happen, but Jalen Carter makes a lot of sense here, though. I'll put it that way.
He would make a lot of sense, but I don't understand. I don't understand the Bears. Really quickly, too. Here we go. Basel, thanks, man. I don't think some of the other channels do. They won't respond to me. Hey, man, if you vent, you are always welcome here, man. You have joined the family. You are part of the family. It's all good.
Yes,
we know you by now. We know you mean no harm, but you're going to share your opinion. And like Zach always says, we're just the voice in front of the mic for the Colts fans, and we're going to let you guys say those things. We may disagree at times. It's all good, man. And by the way, he agreed with me as Jalen Carter is the number one talent.
And that's hard to dispute. Jalen Carter just went to Philadelphia Eagles. You called it. Yeah. I mean, you want to talk about a really good situation going around a bunch of really good football players. And it's a real nice fit for him because he's going to go play with a bunch of adults, right? Like he's going to go play with a bunch of pros. And it's either going to work out or it's not. But they just got, with the ninth pick, any way you want to slice it up, they just got one of the best 3 or 4 players in the whole draft with the ninth pick. So, I mean.
Now and Basel put up, I guess they traded a 4th-round pick to move up. I mean, the Bears have collected, I'll tell you this, the Bears have collected a lot of picks. But like you said when they traded back with the Panthers, right? What are you getting? Are you getting the premium talent or you just like you're missing. They have now, maybe not, but they run a really big risk of missing out on those blue chip talents like that you talk about.
Yeah.
Like you didn't get a Will Anderson, you didn't get a Jalen Carter, who we both know like they really like them, and you're not getting them. So who are they taking at 10? I think is a great question now too.
Yeah. I mean, geez. They took a couple corners last year in the draft. I mean, they need talent. Really, they need a lot of talent. This be a place where they might go tackle. You know, they might go tackle. They might go with one of the really. This might be a landing spot. Another opportunity. Yeah, I don't really think Nolan Smith fits them very well because they play a traditional 4-3 and not a 3-4. But we'll see here. I mean, they have accumulated and acquired a lot of picks, and yeah, I mean the Philadelphia Eagles unfortunately continue to get better as we speak.
They just they're a team too that just does not have a lot of holes.
Yeah.
For those who have been watching our show for over 2 years now, you can notice my background's a little different. I'm in my living room, and you just saw my dog scamper across the back. Y'all are getting a little bit more insight into what we like. No, you're not right here. No.
Yeah, he's a.
I had to switch my my draft got delayed, so you are watching on NFL Network. I've now switched over to ESPN because my NFL Network got delayed. I didn't want to be. So hopefully we're about the same. I know the Bears pick is in.
Yeah, well, we're just a little bit off, but that's okay. We'll enjoy it. This is going to be the 10th pick, and we've really had a good time. Let's see. Brian Worm says, I think Levis ends up with the Vikings. Their coach came from L.A., and Levis OC his junior year with the Rams.
It's a
real possibility. Yeah, that's a real
possibility. Behind Matthew Stafford for a couple of years because he's not. I mean, he's winding down his career. I'm going to stick with not Matthew Stafford. But dude, I feel like he's going to fall to the Titans. And if they want that quarterback, if they want him, dude, imagine that me and you have been talking about this.
Yeah.
The entire, let's say they take Will Levis at 11. In the span of 3 years, you have flipped the entire quarterback room for every team in the AFC South. It is all young, top 10 to top 11 talent sitting in those rooms now, which is crazy to think. I mean, you got the number one, you got the number 2 pick, you got the number 1 pick in Trevor Lawrence, you got the number 4 pick in AR, and you could have the number 11 pick in Will Levis. That's a lot of capital going into those draft rooms, going into those quarterback rooms for the AFC South, which is crazy.
We got Guitar Man 235 AR-15, and J2 will be insane dual threat and combo, and the cannon is a cannon for an arm. O-line play, we could be unstoppable. Man, that combination sounds pretty freaking awesome to me. As we're 4 minutes and 40 seconds away from the Chicago Bears picking at 10. Guys, I think probably a good stopping point for us. We were going to go 10. Since we're in division, I don't know, Steven, if you're okay with going to 11. Let's just see where the Titans pick right there, and then that might be a really good stopping point for us, because we wanted to enjoy this experience with you, but we also want to enjoy the experience as being fans as well, right? Like we want to have the opportunity to do that and watch the rest of the draft. Let you guys have a good time. We certainly appreciate you. So hang with us for a couple more picks. The real thing I want to get going before we get off here in the conversation, who do the Tennessee Titans take? It's 11, right? They're at 11.
11, yeah.
Who are the Tennessee Titans going to take? I mean, it'd be nice to know every team in the AFC South, kind of the fate of how they're going to go before we get off on this live stream. The pick is in for the Chicago Bears, so it'll be interesting. I don't know. Maybe Peter Skoronski right here makes sense. And Darnell Wright. I mean, you've got some guys.
They said before the draft he is actually watching the draft from a steakhouse in Chicago.
Oh, really?
Well, he's from being from Northwestern. That's in Chicago. So, or yeah. So, I mean, they said he's actually in Chicago right now. So it would make a lot of sense. Get a little bit of protection for Justin Fields. He got banged up a lot. Let's see.
Yeah.
Darnell Wright. There you go, man. You called it.
There you go. Yeah. He's a pretty talented guy out of Tennessee. Really good tackle. Might end up being the best.
By the way, are you delayed behind me?
Just like 5 seconds. Yeah, I just saw it called just a few seconds ago. And now it kind of sets up an AFC South
reaction to that.
Yeah, pretty wild. The thought that Will Levis is still on the board at number 11, is it going to be too tempting, Stephen, for the Tennessee Titans to not take him?
Man, the pick's already in. The Titans pick is already in.
Well, I think it's got to be Levis, right? It has to be.
Got to be Levis, right?
It has to be Levis. If it's going to go that route and be that way.
That's so quick.
I mean, that's Will Levis, and that's the Titans and the Texans, probably with the two fastest card calls that you've ever seen in an NFL draft. Like, they knew what they were doing. And make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. They picked
Hendon Hooker.
Oh, that would be wild. That would be absolutely wild. I don't think you would, though. Like, wouldn't you just trade back and then take Hendon Hooker?
I think so. I mean, I see him going tail end, like 20 to 31, somewhere around there, 20 to 30 probably.
Yeah.
How fast that went in, I think it's Levis.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be – you think it's definitely a skill position. It was an easy call for him. And we did hear
before they announced that too. I want to point out. So it's a good point with what Basel said. It's awfully high for a right tackle. I heard something on the radio the other day, and I thought it was worth mentioning. With this, is that you do hear that a lot. But here's the thing: right tackle, left tackle. We've always heard left tackle is more important than right. But at the same time, man, like, don't you sit there and you go, I mean, if T.J. Watt, they're not going to line him up over your good left tackle. They're going to move him over to right tackle. So you really, unless you adhere to the old adage of the blind side of the quarterback, you got to be good on both sides because they're going to move that pass rusher around. Yes. So, I mean, I think you got to have a solid right tackle and a solid left tackle, because if one's bad, they're just going to move that T.J. Watt, or they're going to move that Myles Garrett to the other side.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, definitely. Yeah, I mean, the pick is in. We'll get back after the commercial, and we'll see here. It's almost 9.
That was really fast, though. That was a very fast pick in.
They were pretty intentional with their guy right there. It didn't seem like they had to put a whole lot of thought in it. And
do you think there's a chance that they sat there and when the Colts select?
I can't hear you, Steven.
And it wasn't that Will Levis was going to drop to them. There was no other people who were going to take a quarterback. Levis was going to drop if that's the pick, right?
I mean,
did they know?
That has to be the strategy. I mean,
that's bold and that's smart and that's a good play by their new GM.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get a guy who's definitely. I mean, they're going to need a quarterback sooner rather than later, and I don't think Mike Vrabel is really in much of a let's just have a really bad year. I think he wants to win football games. I mean, so if you're going to go that way, just go ahead and take your quarterback right now. We'll see what happens here but yeah, I mean, I think definitely you would look that direction for sure. There we go. Couple.
Yeah, so is it possible for the Titans to replace Lewan? I mean, it could be Skoronski. It could be.
You could go.
They got a lot of holes. They got a lot of different directions that they could go. But man, there was so much about the quarterback.
You would just think with how quick they called it in, it would have to be a premium position. So you're either talking quarterback, tackle, edge, cornerback, possibly wide receiver. Like, those will probably be the positions you would jump on at this point in the draft. Still a lot of good players. Christian Gonzalez is a very good player still left.
That got mentioned in the chat.
Yeah, he's actually a really good player. They need a lot of help on that offensive line, though. I mean, they really do. So maybe I don't know. I think you could see it
I'm
being well.
interested. This is a pick that interests me a lot
Yeah,
to see who they take.
they seem fired up about it, as they should be. But we want to talk about one of the youngest divisions in the NFL. If they take a quarterback, I mean, they've got a lot of young blood there.
Does he sit?
Probably initially, yeah.
Do they keep Tannehill?
I think so.
Because the rumor was they were looking to move him.
We're gonna see here.
I'm invested in this, man. I'm interested to see what happens.
I mean, this pick
And
has
just
been
everybody in the chat too. We were just talking about this. I know we're gonna wind it up after this one. Dude, this has been a blast, man, because for like me and Zach, like getting to not only watch the draft, me and him together, because we didn't get to do it last year, but getting to watch it with all y'all, it's like sitting in a draft party room.
it's pretty cool.
And just do all this.
Yeah, it has been a good time, and I don't know, man. I mean, this has been they are taking their time calling this 11th pick out. I'll put it that way. I mean, that pick has been in for a good long while at this point, and I don't know what the holdup is.
You ever notice they're not showing the green room?
I think
showing who's on.
I think they want to keep everybody kind of excited, up to the last point. Obviously, one of the things the NBA does a really bad job of is showing those players and that emotion when they know they're going to get picked. So you always kind of know about 1 minute before the actual pick gets called who's going to get called. This way, it really keeps keeps this conversation going. Like we've had, this pick's been in for 5 or 6 minutes and we still don't even know. So it keeps everything more interesting, more to talk about. And Roger Goodell, I mean, you'd have to think at some point is going to come out on this stage and let us know who's 11.
Let's see what it is, man.
And you're just a little bit ahead of me, Steven. So
I won't say anything.
I'm just now seeing him walk on the stage. So wow. Peter Skoronski, Will Levis, the fall.
Where does Levis go?
Now I don't know. He is definitely sliding. There's no doubt about it. Hey, very good pick for the Tennessee Titans. I mean, you got a very good tackle. He could even kick inside to play guard if you need to, but he's very good. So
that's one that a lot of people they felt that's when I saw mocked a lot was Skoronski to the Titans. Now the question becomes now it really does. How far does Levis fall? How far does he fall?
Yeah,
I don't think he's going Green Bay. Detroit's there, maybe. Do you take Detroit's pick is already in?
Yeah, I mean I don't know.
New England had him in on the last day of the top 30 visits.
Yeah, it could be. It'll be interesting to see where he goes, guys. I just want to take a quick second and thank you so much for hopping in here. It was super fun to get you in here, enjoying this hour and a half with you, seeing the Indianapolis Colts. Anthony Richardson, new Indianapolis Colt quarterback, pick number 4. We've talked about it so much ad nauseum, and now we get an actual name who's going to be the quarterback. It's been a real fun time. I know, Steven, you've had a good time. You mentioned it earlier as well. Really nothing else to say. We'll have some kind of follow-up feedback, more content to come. Second round tomorrow. We're not done yet. We'll see what happens with that. And until next time, as we always end our shows, I love you. Steven loves you. And there's no doubt about it. Anthony Richardson loves you.